I teach the calculus, we have to know how to multiply fractions. Adding fractions, not nearly as difficult or as important because we end up clearing them out. So when I find a common denominator, I'm going to look for, and it doesn't really matter how I do it, but I want a number that both 5 and 4 divide into evenly. They both go into this number. I checked everybody. They were all in the same place. Are we okay? So I want a number that both 5 and 4 divide into. Not what goes into them, but what do they go into. It's different. And when in doubt, because you know what? This always works. Multiply the two numbers together. What's 5 times 4? 20. So if I want to get a common denominator, I can always just multiply the two numbers together. It won't be the smallest one, but honestly, I don't care. So you multiply the two denominators. So we said 5 and 4 divide into 20. Is everybody with me on that? You don't want to write? You should write. Typing's hard. So what we're going to do is we are going to change our denominators. Remember when we had the 1/5 equals a box over 20? Remember when we did those problems? That's why we did them. Josh, you remember that? So how do you go from 5 to 20? What do you have to do? 5 times what is 20? 4. So it's times 4. Oh, I didn't like that one. So this is times 4. So this is 4. Do you remember when we did that? Okay. Now, I like to write mine also vertically. I don't like them sideways. So you would probably prefer to rewrite them. So what I'm going to do is start with this, and it's 1/5 plus 1/4. Okay. Okay. We agreed that these guys go into 20. Yes. Because how do you get from 5 to 20? You multiply by 4, and you multiply by 4. And honestly, I write this out too. When I do it in my head, I don't do it right. I make mistakes. Okay, what about 1/4? How many 20s is that? Gabe, what do I multiply by? Did I do that right? 5 times 5. So this is 5. Now, because they both are 20ths, that's a 20, and that's a 20. Remember, do we add the denominators, or do we just add the top numbers? Do you remember? Chelsea, remember what you're doing? This is a pie that was been divided into 20 equal parts. You want to eat 4, and you want to eat 5 more. How many parts are you going to eat? You ate 5 pieces of this pie, 5 of that one. How many have you eaten altogether? Casey, how many have you eaten altogether? You ate 5 here, 4 here, and 5 here. How many is that? 9. But the size of the pie is still 20ths. Well, depending on how big the pie is, but 20 is a pretty tiny slice. I might eat 5 and then 4. Maybe it's blueberry and pumpkin or something. If you can reduce this, you reduce it. So here are the steps. So let's do the next problem. Are you ready? I'm not sure how many people are with me. Now you can come back and do this again. Now when in doubt, you multiply the two denominators together. Now they said the common denominator is something smaller than multiplying them together. But you know what? Sometimes that's harder. Because you have to really think. I don't want to think too much. It's easier for me to reduce my fractions, actually. And when I get into algebraic fractions, which we could, not in this class, they just multiply together. It's just easier. Okay, So what would you like to be the common denominator? So it's one step beyond what we did before. What do 8 and 6 go into? If I could find the smallest one, it's even nicer. What's 8 times 6? You got a calculator. 8 times 6 is a little smaller. You need a calculator. What is it? No. Bigger than 32, smaller. A little bit bigger than 42. Well, you know what? It's 8 times 6 is what I want to do. So what we're going to do is multiply this one by 8 and this one by 6. Okay? Is that okay? Josh, is that okay? Multiply the two together. Nobody knows what 6 times 8 is? That's 48. So your denominators will be 48. Little tiny slices of pies. I don't even think I could, unless it's a giant pie, could ever cut anything into 48 equal parts. That would be pretty big. Have you ever tried folding a piece of paper halfway and then fold it again halfway? How many folds does it take before you can't do it? Not very many. So taking a pie or anything and dividing into 48 equal parts is not easy. Okay, if I multiply 6 by 8, what do I have to do with the numerator? Multiply it by 8. It got to be fair. Right, Jeremiah? Got to be fair. This one was 8. Yeah, that's right. It's 40. And then this is 8 times 6, so this is times 6. And you guys do have colors on your iPad, so you might want to change those colors. If I have to go slower so you can change colors, that's okay. What's 3 times 6? No, a little smaller. Do you know what 3 times 6 means? It means 6 plus 6 plus 6. That's 3 times 6. Or I could do 6 times 3, which is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and add them all up. That's what multiplication means, and we have to understand what it means because we're going to be doing exponents. Yeah, you're right. Okay, see, that's 18. 3 times 6 is 18. 6, 12, and 6 is 18. I don't care if you multiply, if you add 6 3 times. If you add 6 3 times, that means you really know what you're doing. So, Josh, what am I going to write here? You should be writing it with me. I shouldn't see anybody with their hands idle. 3 times 6 is 18. Now, do we add the denominators or do we just add the numerators? Just the numerators. Now, if you need a calculator to add that, be my guest. I don't think you do. If I take 18 plus 40, got to find myself a little workspace. 18 plus 40. What does that add up to give me? Evan, do you know what that adds up to give me? 58. 58.
How would you know what?
To multiply by?
Yeah.
One end, just multiply the two together. Works every time. If you can find a smaller one, that's why the slide says 3 and 4, because that would be a smaller one, but I don't care. So this, I might care. So this is 58 out of how many? What size did I divide them into? I divided them into 48 equal pieces. Honestly, this is easier to divide this fraction now than it is to reduce it. Reducing looks hard. So do you remember how to change that? Remember this falls over because it's top heavy? That's what happens when I pick up my Chihuahua. He's very heavy up in the chest area. So if I don't pick him up under the chest, he falls over. I've learned how to do that. I think that's probably true for all Chihuahuas. Mine's a little heavy. But so I'm going to divide 48 into 58. How many times does that go in? What do you want to guess? Take a guess. 1. And then I subtract. What's 58 minus 48? This is why I chose this to do it this way, because that's pretty easy. That's 10. Now, reducing 10 over 48 is going to be easier than 58 over 48. And for me, it is. They're both even, so if I don't know what to divide by, I will divide by 2. So that's 1. What's half of 10? 5. And half of 48. If I have $48, I'm going to give you half. How much are you going to get? 24. If you need a calculator, use a calculator. Now, if I use my calculator, I can do this. I'm kind of torn. I'd like you to understand how to add fractions because you're not always going to have a calculator. If you understand you can't add the denominators, I'd be really thrilled, actually. But what I'm going to do now is bring up my calculator, and we'll get you guys calculators because I have it on here now. If I can get to it. No. Oh, there it is. Now, why is it doing that again? And then we're going to go to the next page. But you can check it with the calculator. Where are they? I don't know why it's doing that. Well, let's see. You guys, if you would come, when you come in, if you just come and grab a calculator, that would make life so much easier for me. Who needs a black one? And these are cool because these will do them. They will not, they'll give it to you. The answer to this one's going to be as different. What? Cancel. Let's see if that works. I'm not a happy camper. Who else needs a black one? Otherwise, come out here and get gray ones or black ones, whichever ones you need. Come on up and grab them. I'm just going to do it that way. And if a gray one doesn't work, let me know because I got to get the batteries fixed. I'm going to try this again. Yeah, it won't turn on. There's one. Try it this way. I probably pressed the wrong button. Story of my life. So we're going to do 3/8 plus 5/6. We are going to go to our calculator page. So I'm going to press my menu, calculator. You can get this calculator for free on your computers at home for at least 30 days. It might be 90, but I think it's 30. Now, what did I just say it was? 5/6. What's the problem again? Okay. Now, you can make it look like fractions if you press this little control button, and I'm not sure where it is on each calculator, and then you hit this divided by on this calculator. This is the black one. There's a little thing that looks like that, and it was 3/8 plus, if I want it to look pretty, it'll make it pretty for me if I don't, 5. The only problem with this is it won't change the mixed numbers. It won't do that. Was that the right fraction? Okay. And I could take a picture of it. Okay, well. Oh, well, this is going to be a problem. Because I can't get to it. Oh, wait. Maybe I can. Ha. And I can put that right in here. There it is. And guess what? I have the same answer. You may not realize it's the same answer, but it is. If I go 1 times 24, that's 24 plus the 5 gives me 29/24. I think it would be good to make sure that you know how to change these. Unfortunately, this calculator will not do that. Okay. Oh, does yours look better than this? It's 1/5 plus 3/4. Does yours look proper? Or does it look goofy? Yeah, yours, I don't know why mine's like that. Okay, because I copied it right off of this. What do 5 and 4 go into? When in doubt, multiply them together. Josh, what's 5 times 4? Because that'll work. That's a 20. And you put a 20 there. Remember that when we filled in those little boxes? Yeah, it's the same thing. So Jeremiah, what do I have to multiply this by to get that? 4. 1 times 4 is 4. How about this one? 5. Chelsea, what do I get? 15. And then what do you do with these top numbers? Add them. So it's what? 4 and 15 is 19 out of 20. When you understand, it's easy. So when I do, now we could be clever on the 1/10 and 1/2. I'm going to start that down here because mine's just messy. It's 1/10 plus 1/2. I prefer to do it this way. Otherwise, it gets a little messy. Now, you could multiply 2 and 10 and get 20. Okay, Missy? But is there a smaller number that 2 and 10 will divide into? No, no, I want a number that 10 divides into. You could write out the multiples. Like 10 times 1, 10 times 2, 10 times 3. I just didn't teach this. And you could go 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Those are the old cheerleading things. What's the next one? 10. What's the smallest number they both divide into? 10. Can you use 20? Sure. I don't care. Okay, so we want to, what the other button is? Multiply. You want to do 10s or 20s? I don't care. 10s. Okay, Casey, 2 times what is 10? I'm sorry, what? 2, divide 2 into 10. 5. So this is 1 times 5. I like multiplying by 1s because it's just 5. Oh, do I have to do anything with this one? Because it's 10 times 1. So Josh, how many do I have if I add up 1/10, 1 out of 10 parts, and 5 out of 10 parts? No, what's 1 plus 5?
No, I said 6 out of 10.
Oh, I didn't hear you 6, sorry. 6 out of 10. And then does that reduce? What goes into 6 and 10? Divide by 2. Now it's clear. It's 3/5. You could type it on your calculator. Well, I'm going to let you work on these. I don't know what that's for. And subtracting isn't any different. You'll just subtract the numerators. So I'm going to let you just work on these problems until we get to here. I may have to rebuild this.